Hey everybody, welcome to Takeoff with John Clark, presented by Rivers Casino. And this is such a cool story because 26 years ago, right? 26 years ago, Jeremiah Trotter was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles and he became an icon in Philadelphia, a Hall of Famer. And now Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is coming out of college and into the NFL draft. This is a wild story, a father-son story. So I first want to ask you, Jeremiah, when you see him going through this process, is it kind of bringing you back? Like, are you seeing all the steps and kind of living through that again through your son?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just excited for him. Not so much reliving what I went through, just excited for him because I know all the work that has gone in from the time he first stepped foot on the football field, and I knew how hard I was on him, and how much I pushed him, and how the sacrifices he made when he wanted to be doing other things with friends or whatever, and he had to lock in on school and practice and the extra lifting he did at home or watching film at home. So that brings back those memories, just all the sacrifice and the work that he put in. And, he's at the doorstep now. So I'm just excited for him.
And when you look back at that, when you kind of first got under Coach Trotter, maybe he's like a dad first and then a coach and pushing you. Are you now saying to yourself, like, you understood what he was doing and there was a method to the madness because you're at this point now?
Oh yeah, being at this point, definitely, reflecting back on it, I don't feel like I missed anything as a kid. Was able to do everything I wanted, but also learn like the type of focus that you needed to get to this point. And I'm grateful, God giving me the opportunity, and also my dad being there, and leading me down the right path to make sure I got here and knew what it took.
Did you go back and watch when he was drafted at all? Is there YouTube? Is there video of it? No,
No,
this is 1998.
I wish I had it. I wish I could go back and look at the draft and watch the combine, but I don't have any clips of that.
And now it's all over.
Oh yeah. It went by fast. The combine process went by fast, but it was a great experience. Had a great time, and just had to smell the roses type thing. To see all the work come together, and get me to that opportunity of being there.
Has your dad kind of told you what that feeling is like when you hear Jeremiah Trotter called and a team is drafting you? Have you kind of envisioned it as well?
Yeah, I thought about it, and you never really know how you're gonna feel, how you're gonna react until it happens. I'm a tough guy. I usually don't cry a lot, but I may shed some tears, because a lot of work was put in, and God took me through a lot of trials and tribulations to get to this point, and all that emotion built up could really cause like a hell of a reaction.
Yeah, and I imagine for you, going to be waterworks, right?
Oh man, listen, it's even before that, it's just a special moment now. Just seeing him graduate from high school and go 3 years in college, and now he's worked his way to one of the best players in the draft, one of the best linebackers in the country. Man, I'm just ecstatic. Not for me, just for him. I'm just so proud of him, man. Just because he's done things the right way. He's done things the right way. He's played the game the right way. He's led the right way, and just excited to see where God is going to take him in his career.
It's interesting because your dad is a Hall of Famer. He's a legend in Philly. And you probably first started to see videos. I mean, did you see him in person? Like, how did you first start to see your dad in his element playing football?
Honestly, YouTube, seeing clips, that would come up. He has, old game film that on like disc that he would show us. But when he was playing, I was really young, so I can't remember, in time, real game, situations. But I would see the clips of that, and I knew, he was a baller. He left a legacy, not just Philly, but in the NFL, and also just how fans and coaches that other players, when you run into them, how they react, meeting them, and just saying how great of a player he is, it really just established that and showed the type of player he was and the type of legacy he left.
When did you first say to yourself, I want to get into the same career as my dad. I want to be like my dad?
I'd probably say, just at a young age playing Little League football. I always loved the game, always loved to compete. And, as, I continued to grow up and get older, and, that dream was always there, just seeing, like, it's possible if I just, put my mind to it and really grind and and, have faith in God, I can get to that. I can get to that level and make it there. And then, having, my dad coaching me, teaching me how to play linebacker, what it took off the field as well, really helped me get to this spot.
And it's interesting because a lot of kids want to do what their parents do, especially if it's a cool job,
right,
like an
right,
NFL player.
Right.
But okay, you're like, okay, he's into it, let's do it. But was there a moment where you started to say, wow, like he can actually be really good at this?
This is going to sound crazy, but I knew when he was 3 years old,
Really?
he was going to play in the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah. I knew, as long as he kept growing, obviously, but I knew as he was 3 years old because he was one of the toughest kids. I've seen him run head first into the bed, into the door. When I come home from work, he would run full speed and not slow down. And I had to protect myself in the front. And he would just run full speed into me. And I just knew I said, man, this kid got some toughness, some dog in him, And I knew then, and I just continued to, I was just watching him as he grew, and I prayed for him when they were babies, when they was in the stomach, I was just praying for him. God, give him everything you gave me, just double it, size, speed, toughness. Make him a little crazy. You got to be a little crazy to play linebacker in the NFL, man.
Yeah.
So I was praying, when other people was reading to the kids, I was praying for mine, give them all the talent you gave me, man. And I've tried my best to steer them in the right direction. I'm not perfect or whatever, and they're not perfect, but I've tried to steer them in the right direction to show them what it really takes to be, great at your craft.
And it's interesting because there's probably a dilemma sometimes, like, am I pushing him too hard here? When should I back off? Like, how did you kind of go from dad to coach back and forth in your mind?
Well, I never asked them to do anything I've never done. So the work ethic, the discipline, everything it takes, everything you're doing, I've done that. So I would never ask them to do something that I wasn't willing to do.
Were there any days where you're like, oh man, this guy, he's a little too hard on me? Like I see Jalen Brunson and Rick Brunson. Rick Brunson like would leave him at the gym sometimes at night. Like, you better figure this out and shoot another 1,000 shots. Were there any times you're like, man, this is a little too much?
No, I never really had that mindset. I was always mature. I understood, my dad, he loves me. He'd do anything in the world for me. And, even when he was tough on me, you just got to take, it may come, aggressive message, but you got to pull out the good things in it and what the message actually is and what he's actually trying to get across. But, I mean, what you were talking about with Brunson, that's never happened to me. So I probably had it better than, some guys may have had. But, I always was good at, making sure I took the message in and what was actually trying to get across and try to just apply it to my game, apply it to, how I'm learning to, improve myself as a player.
And obviously you love your dad. What part of his play did you say, I want to emulate him and be like that?
I'd probably say the biggest part is like the physicality. I've seen clips, him blowing up linemen, getting downhill, blowing up guys, big hits. And that's a part of my game I really want to implement and show that is a part of my game, just that aggressive mindset and that physicality, because at the linebacker position, that's what you want your linebacker to have.
Now, it's interesting because you guys are kind of the perfect example of how the NFL has changed a little bit because of your physicality and your
Right.
size. How is he different as a linebacker now in this era of football compared to when you were playing?
Well, I was athletic too, but I trained differently. I trained to take on guards and tackles versus him. They train now to play in space, cover running backs, tight ends, make tackles in wide open space, and just be able to just, the things that I struggle with, I make sure I taught him. Blitzing, being able to blitz. The more you can do, the better. And, obviously the size is different. I was 260 when I was drafted. He's 230. And, but you don't need to be 260 in today's game. Today's game, 230, 225, anywhere over 220, that's a good size in today's game. And it really comes down to technique, hat and hands, block destruction. And I like to pride myself on taking on linemen. So I always told him, man, one thing I can teach you how to take on a lineman. And it's really just about hat, hands, having that six inch pop and using your hands and locking out and then defeating the blocker. What's the number one rule to making a tackle?
Oh, coming out your hips, wrapping up.
Defeating the blocker. That's it. Defeating the blocker.
They don't teach it as well anymore,
No,
right?
no. So I taught him to be well-rounded. You know, he's one of the best blitzers I've seen. He's great in coverage. Can run sideline to sideline. He diagnoses the play, what plays great, and you know, I just think he's well-rounded, man. And in today's game, you have to be well-rounded, especially if you want to be a three-down linebacker.
Yeah. Is there something that you would say, okay, he's better than I was at this, and is there something that you would say, okay, I'm better at this part of being a linebacker?
He's better at everything than me except for taking on linemen. But I was 260. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was 260, and the way I trained, I mean, coming out of college, I squatted over 800 pounds. That's with a bad knee.
And that's more than Jalen Hurts.
You know what I'm saying? That's with a bad knee. So
Wow.
I was built to take on guards and linemen.
Yeah.
You know, I trained for that. So, and it was a different game back then. You know, it was a different game. So, you know, he's definitely better. He's better than everything else except that.
What does that mean when you hear an Eagles Hall of Famer say that?
It feels good, you know, just saying, you know, he's a very good player, a very high caliber player, and then just hearing that, you know, just, you know, is a credit to my game and my abilities that I was blessed with. So it definitely feels good.
Was there a certain point in time where, you know, you got out and played, but then, okay, you have his number, and then you do the Axeman, the chop, like, how much did you want to be like your dad?
I mean, I modeled my game after him, you know. I try to, you know, pull from guys, and he was, you know, one of the first guys, you know, I would watch and, you know, try to pull from his game. And he taught me a lot, you know, about, you know, to apply to my game. And I just try to, you know, learn, soak it all in, and do the best I can to get better at it. And, you know, like you were saying, like with the axe chop, that was just like a testimony or a testament to him. And, you know, to show that I appreciate him. I appreciate, you know, everything he did. And, you know, just the legacy that he built.
When you first saw him do the Axeman?
Tears. I remember like it was. I never forget it. I was out of the country, and just watching the game, and he made a tackle for a loss on the quarterback, and he just rolled right out of it, man, like he'd been doing it all the time, and just dropped it, and it was so smooth, and I wasn't expecting it because he had never did it his whole career, and never did it.
Wow.
So when he did it, it was truly a special moment for me. Just him showing homage to his dad, it meant a lot, you know, and you know, I just told him, hey, you got to keep going, you got to keep it going. And I asked him, I said, yo, have you been practicing on it? He was like, nah, I watched it on YouTube and that's it, you know.
That's great. And when you first started doing it, did you practice it at all, or was just like, did that come out of like the emotions of the moment when you first did it?
Mine's kind of evolved into that chop because I had did the chop one time, and a couple of equipment guys said they was discussing it, and they said, "Chop, we think when you drop the axe, you should throw your hands up." I was like, "Man, that's corny. I'm not gonna do that." So we get into the game. I think it was against the Giants. We get in the game. I dropped the axe, and I was off balance. And because I was off balance, my hands naturally came up. And when I watched the rerun of it, I was like, "Yo, that's kind of sweet," you know. So I give them guys credit. It was pretty nice. And I just because I did it because I wanted to do something that meant something to me in my upbringing, and you know, chopping wood, growing up with my dad, and that kind of helped me remember him and how I was brought up.
So how cool is that? The family lineage, you know,
Right.
and now it's being passed down
Right.
26 years after you were
Right,
drafted.
right.
That's going to be in the NFL.
Right. And I told him, you know what it does? It not only it gets you hype, it gets the crowd hype, your teammates are into it, and it just brings that energy that you need on defense, you know. And a lot of times being a leader on defense is not all about just getting people lined up or talking to people. It's bringing that energy, bringing that passion, that fire that you need.
So that's what Philly loves about you, other than your play. The passion, the fire, the chop. Do you have that same passion and fire? Did you sense that at an age, like, you know, early age, where like, okay, I got this too?
Yeah, I definitely always had that passion, you know, about the game. I feel like my passion has definitely evolved. I was always that guy. I was out there on the field. Maybe I may not say too much, but you could tell by the way I'm flying around, trying to, you know, headhunt, and I'm hitting guys. You know, I'm passionate about the game, and you know, I feel like it evolved to more, you know, like, you know, what my dad was saying with the axe chop, showing it, you know, so it's seeable, that just evolved, in my game over the years, just, expressing that emotion in a different way as I play.
And how cool was it to see the way the crowd reacted at Lincoln Financial Field and Philadelphia overall to your dad when he made that connection with the fans, with the chop and his play?
Yeah, no, it was really cool. You see guys, they'll have the 5-4 Eagles jerseys. It'd be like a bird doing the axe chop, and how fans react, and not just fans, but his teammates. After doing it, it's amazing. To see like the type of impact you have on a game by doing like that celebration, and the type of when people see it, they think of my dad, Jeremiah Trotter.
Hey, celebrity cook Steve Marano is bringing his Italian-American cooking back home to Philly, where it started. Enjoy Marano's Prime at Rivers Casino and Steve's famous meatballs with Sunday gravy, prime steaks, and more. So make reservations for Marano's Prime on Open Table. I've been to the one in Fort Lauderdale. I'm glad it's back in Philly. So how amazing would it be if the Philadelphia Eagles drafted another Jeremiah Trotter 26 years later?
Hey, I won't have to go far to watch him play. Hey, listen, it's. I know it's great. It'll be a great storyline, man, and great organization, obviously. Best organization in the National Football League, you ask me. And to have another Trotter done the 5-4 would be crazy, But I've been thinking about this for years, since he was 10. I just want him to go where God wants him to go. Wherever that is, I know it'd be the right spot.
Do you make some calls? Like, how do you handle it?
No.
Do you just let it happen?
I did my job. He's grown. He makes his own decisions, own choices. Now I kind of faded back into the background and just let him do his thing. Obviously, I'm going to always be a coach. That'll never stop. But he has his own road he got to travel, his own trials and tribulations that he got to endure, and but he's prepared. I can honestly sit here and say that I've prepared him the best way I could.
How about for you? Could you imagine if you were drafted by your dad's team?
Yeah, it would be pretty crazy. This great story. The fans, I see stuff on the internet talking about we gotta get him. But
Mike Reese is on WIP. Said make it happen.
Yeah, but it's out of my hands. I leave it to God. I'll end up where I'm supposed to be, and if it's with Philadelphia, I'll be just as happy. If I go anywhere else, Philadelphia has a great organization, a great team, and it'd be an honor to be continue the legacy, the Trotter legacy of Philadelphia.
How was your meeting with the Eagles?
No, it was great. It was a great meeting. Howie and Nick, Coach Nick, they were all great guys, great energy, and they seemed really good guys. I shot some shots on the mini hoop in there. Break the ice a little bit.
Did you beat Nick?
I did not make the shots. I blame it on I blame it on a low ceiling. The ceiling was a little bit low, so I couldn't get the arc I wanted to on my shot. But yeah, great guys, great energy, and I could tell they're really down to earth, fun type of organization.
What is it like for you when you're going on your NFL journey? Hoping to get drafted, you will get drafted and go to an NFL team. And you said like the teams and people say they mention your dad. What kind of pride do you have in that when you get in front of people and you're representing him and this family?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in, my last name. Make sure I carry it well. And, mentality I try to have is, if you see, my name or Junior on the news, it's with a good headline, not something bad. And I just try to, have that mindset throughout my whole life. And, I don't feel like it comes with pressure or anything. My dad, always, reinforced that with me and my brother, all my siblings, you don't have to live up to anything, just be you. So that takes a lot of weight off my shoulders as well.
How has it helped or enhanced the relationship with father and son? Being the guy who wants to do what your dad did, like how has it helped the relationship?
I think we've always had a really good relationship. There's always been a crazy amount of respect there. I'm truly blessed. I have really, really good kids, and I think we always had a really great relationship. I think it's starting to evolve now, because obviously he's older. He's a man now. So it's more of it's starting to become more of a friendship than a father and son. And I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to have be really close friends with my kids. So that's truly important to me. Jeremiah he don't talk much, but so typically it's just me talking, and he's just saying yes sir, no sir. But we just sit there and just watch TV or just sit quiet. And for me, as long as he's there, I'm good.
How cool is that? I mean, you have friends, obviously, but like, do you see Dad as kind of a friend, not just a father, but a buddy and also a football coach, all wrapped in one?
Oh yeah, all those things combined. Just dad, friend, coach. I feel like all those things, have over the years have built up, and just having that respect, for him as as a man as well. To try, pull from him, help myself become better as well. As just gradually over the years, improved.
Is it pretty wild to see that number 54 and your name on the back of a jersey? And what happens to you when you watch him? Are you more nervous or passionate than when you even played? Or what's your emotions like?
Well, to your first question, I'm used to it now because he's always wore 54 from the time he was 5. So I'm used to seeing him in 5'4". But the nervous part, oh yeah, I'm a nervous wreck. I try to stay, like game day, I try to stay as far away from the game as I can until right up to kickoff. And then, I'm up there the whole time just praying.
Wait, so you're literally like, where are you in relation to the field? Like, you could be on the field if you wanted.
Yeah, like I go tailgate, right? I go tailgate, and they have the Tiger Walk that they do where the whole team comes in together.
Yeah.
I never go to that. I just want to be over there barbecuing, eating, and then think about the game when kickoff starts, And when I'm in the stands, I'm just, you're praying. I understand it's a violent game, and I know the work that they put in. You always want your kid to go out and perform at his best and show all the abilities that God has blessed him with. So I'm just like any other parent, man. I'm nervous wreck, and I'm just up there praying and, hoping that all the work that he's put in, pays off.
What is that like for you game days when you have your dad there and, the conversations after? I mean, is he like pumping you up after, or sometimes is he pointing out like a play or two, the angle here, or like the field where you should have been, anything like that?
No, yeah, it's great, having your family there, having your dad there watching you play. Most of the time, game day, I'm locked in, got my gospel music on, going through my warm up, locked in, the game plan and everything. But after the game, after you see the family, he'll if you did good, he's gonna tell you. But there's always, some plays that I could have did differently, I've been better on. So he'll also, be coaching me up, on those plays.
Now, we talked about like the fact that the Eagles could draft him, and they do always have a need at linebacker. But what if he was drafted by the Cowboys or the Giants?
I've been asked that question too, and if he's drafted by the Cowboys, maybe that's where God wanted him to go, And I told him I can't wear a jersey though. I'm just gonna have to wear neutral colors.
So would you wear your Trotter 54 Eagles jersey?
I can't do it.
Eagles though.
Oh, Eagles?
Like if he's playing Eagles Cowboys.
Well, I never wear my jersey anyway.
Yeah.
But maybe I probably wear his college jersey. I can't put on a Dallas jersey. I just can't do it. I mean, I feel maybe I'm a little arrogant. I feel I'm too important to the city, to the fans. You know what I'm saying? If I was just a regular player to come through, but I feel like I'm one of the relationship that I have with the Eagles fan base, it would be too much of betrayal, So I couldn't do it. I just have to wear neutral colors or his college jersey. It's fine,
That's perfect. Or the prep.
The prep.
If it fits.
Yeah, if it fits.
That's cool though. I mean, growing up in Philly, you probably know like, okay, there's blood, there's family, but then Eagles, Cowboys.
Yeah. I always heard about the rivalry and everything. I got some friends that are Cowboys fans. Always, whenever the Cowboys play the Eagles, always texting during the game. If they lose, he's gonna hear it. Yeah.
That's great. And by the way, I want to send my condolences, the loss of your wife and your mom.
Thank you.
What do you think, like, this moment when you're drafted and your mom had a huge part of this. What do you think that'll be like, and how much will you think of her, and how much she supported you and also pushed you in this?
You know, it'd definitely be an emotional moment. My mom, you know, was always up there on my journey, just with my dad as well. Little league games, she'd be up there filming, so we could go home and watch film together. After
She would go scout other teams for us.
yeah,
Other teams would play. She would go record their games. You know,
Like leading up to the game,
Oh,
their
yeah.
previous game.
yeah. All the film that we have, it was either, she would record all those games. I remember a playoff game. We had to play a team. She left our game a little early to go catch their game. It was freezing out there, and she sat up there and recorded the whole game. So without her, we wouldn't have the film and the tape to be able to study, get the game plan together. So she was right, man. She was a football mom to the core, and I know she's smiling on them now, and just proud of them.
Could she break it down with you, like the film and what's
No,
going
she
on?
didn't break down the film,
Yeah.
but she did a great job of recording, and early on she would be cheering and trying to record, and sometimes she would record the ground. So, so I had to be like, hey, what is it? I can't coach him watching the ground, So, but man, she was awesome. Just once a week we would have the coaches meetings here, and she would have a spread out for them and just welcome all the coaches in, or players would come and open up the doors to the players for sleepovers when they were younger, and just really just took care of everybody. So she was special.
And how much will you think of everything that she did, you and her together, in what he's become?
Well, when I look at him, I see her, because he looks just like his mom, And I always say there's something that we created 3 beautiful children that nobody can take, and when I look at them, I remember her, and she definitely played a huge part of my career, my success. I don't think I would have had the success in my career without her support. She always tried to cook healthy, because I love to eat. I love to eat, and she was always trying to cook healthy. So, man, she was just a special person.
How amazing is it, the support you've had? Like, this is a great example for America of what, parenting, good parenting, togetherness. How amazing has the support been for you to get to this moment in your life?
It's a blessing. I know not everybody's blessed with good supporting family, parents, both parents. Just be able to just simply come to the games, and show support from the stands, or coaching from your dad, and not everybody has that. So it's a blessing. I'm really grateful. Didn't really have to struggle through life. Had to focus school, football, just being a kid. So it's definitely a blessing.
And when you wear that name on the back of your jersey, how much are you representing not just your family, but the legacy that he has in Philly, your friends from the prep, and everybody who is kind of there with you for this incredible ride you're on?
Yeah, definitely, representing just everybody that's been along my journey, parents, siblings as well, obviously, but, my friends, my coaches from the high school, friends, in college, and coaches from college, just a lot of people have, played a part in, helping me get here. And, I give a credit to them as well. I decided to play for them, and just, give it everything I have whenever I'm out there on the field.
I've always told him when he was younger, there's no pressure, him and his brother, that they're going to be better than me, because I didn't have me growing up. What I mean by that is, I had the best dad ever, but he didn't know about football. Everything I learned, I had to kind of learn as I went. And the stuff that I taught them when they was 7 and 8, I didn't learn until I got to the NFL. So when you have a parent that's played the game, that can teach you the ins and outs of the game, and you're blessed with the talent, because it doesn't matter what I teach you, if you ain't got the talent, it doesn't matter, right? So, but you're blessed with the talent, you're supposed to be better than your father, And I've been telling people since they were little they was better than me, and there's never been any pressure on them. And I say that because, listen, when you're good, there's not a lot of pressure. It's only pressure when you're not good at your craft. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
and he's been blessed with the gifts. And I thank God that he put me in their lives so I can kind of help steer them, ins and out of the game. And I always told them, listen, you don't have to make the same mistakes I made. See this coverage? You don't have to make it. I made it. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to make it, so don't do it.
Yeah.
And they listen, man. They take everything I say to heart, and they go out and try to apply it. And so I don't know everything, but I can teach you how to play linebacker. I can teach you ins and out. And what I don't know, I know people that I can call and get an answer for you.
That's incredible. How about for you, Philadelphia area? You made your name here in Philadelphia, a Hall of Famer, a legend here in Philly, and the fact that raised him here and he felt, Philly and the passion.
Right.
How special is this area for you and your family now that you have your son going to the NFL?
It's extremely special, and I've talked to them. They know the passion that the fans have. They understand what it's like to play here. I've talked to them about it even when they were younger. It's a blue collar town, and him and his brother, they're blue collar. They come to work. They're gonna put their work in. They're gonna do the things it takes to be great at their craft. And when you do that and you leave it all on the field, the fans, they know it. You can't fool these fans. You can't try to backdoor them with something. They understand the game. They just want you to come out and leave it on the field. They understand you're gonna get beat sometimes here and there. Or sometimes the game don't go the way it's supposed to go. But if you pack up your lunch and your lunch pail and take it to work, and you put on your hard hat, they appreciate you for it.
Very cool. Very cool. Is there anything else you want to say?
Man, I'm just excited, to see how this process goes. If Philadelphia does draft me, it'd be a great story. I'd be really appreciative to play for such great fans, such a great organization. But I'm just ready to get going, and I thank God, just helping me be here.
Well, we wish you the best.
Thank you.
This is going to be an incredible process, and then draft night's going to be incredible. And then your dad could tailgate with Eagles fans outside the link.
I've been wanting to tailgate for years, man. First time I tailgate, I think, was at his Clemson game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to it. I'm enjoying every moment of it. Every moment. I'm not trying to rush. I can't wait till the draft. I'm enjoying the process. I've learned because it goes by like that.
Almost, do you, when you were playing, because you're so focused in on your craft and what you're doing, were you able to enjoy it as much as you think you could have, or are you now enjoying some of the things that maybe you knew you were going through, but you're so into your job at that time?
I wasn't able to enjoy it as much as I should have because you're so locked in, and you got Monday's day off, Monday's film, Tuesday's day off, Wednesday game plan, Thursday, Friday. Boom, travel, Saturdays, play on Sundays, and then boom, the next week all over again. So I didn't start enjoying it until I sat out a year. I went to Tampa for a year. I sat out a year. And I came back to the Eagles. I had an opportunity to just kind of sit for a moment before every game, look around, see the fans, and kind of soak it all in. So that's one of the things I've taught them. Enjoy the process, not just when you get there to the destination. Enjoy the process. Because before you know it, I remember I was joking on the old guys, how old, man, y'all old. And I look around, I'm the old guy. And it goes by like that. So it seemed like I just dropped him off at school. I remember the young lady that was taking pictures, she said, enjoy it, because it flies. And now he's getting ready for the NFL draft. So it flies, man.
It's amazing. And I'll wrap this up by asking you saw Jason Kelce retire.
Yeah.
And it's very rare these days that a guy can play his entire career in one town, the
Right.
town he was drafted by, and you saw how he connected with this town.
Right.
You had a very similar connection because of your passion and your emotion. How special was that retirement speech and just what he means you meant to this area and Philadelphia Eagles football?
Man, he embodies what this town is all about. Just his passion for the game, the work ethic, and just coming out. I mean, he got a streak for starts, and just coming out every week, just laying it all on the line. And then he retired. He's still at the top of his game. Still, I think he made All-Pro this year, right?
All Pro, Pro Bowl, all of it.
Still at the top of his game, you know. It's amazing. I'm proud of him, man. Excited for him and his family, getting ready to go into a different chapter. And, you know, nobody can tell you when it's time. Only you can make that decision. And I'm happy for him because it's great playing, but it's great being retired too. I ain't gonna lie. Man, just your body's, you know, your body don't have to take that beating. And, you know, I always said for me, when I didn't have the desire to stay in shape, it was time to walk away, you know. And I remember training in the backyard one day. I was running some sprints, and I stopped in the middle of the sprint and was like, I can't do it no more. That's when I knew.
The body tells you.
Body tells you.
And by the way, most guys say they retire. They're not retiring from the games. They're retiring from the training camp, the practices during the week.
Games beat you up, right?
Yeah.
But that's not what shortened your career. What shortened your career is practice, the training that you do just to prepare for the game.
Wow. But the body will tell you, huh? And you remember that moment where you're just like, you know what? It's not as fun, or it's just not worth it, or it's...
Usain Bolt said he trained 7-8 years for 9 seconds.
Wow.
So it's the training that really takes it out of you.
Yeah.
That's why I try to train them smart, you know, try to be smart with them training. And we're on the track. We train like track athletes. And because you can't do linebacker drills every day. Doesn't make sense. You do it every day when you go to practice. So in the off season, you can't do all those drills every day. And so we train like track athletes.
And by the way, when you watch him practice or when he has practice in the NFL, you're going to say, man, I wish I could have played in this era. Because now they got walkthroughs during the week most of the time. They don't do the two-a-days.
Here's what's funny, though. Everybody say that. Harold told me the same thing. Oh, man, y'all got it easy. So we had like Andy Reid would have 2 weeks of padded practice twice a day, right? 2-a-days.
In camp?
Yeah, in camp. He would do 2-a-days, padded practice, full pad practice for 2 weeks. Harold said, oh, man, we would go a month. Well, the guys before Harold said they would go 2 months. So he's going to come, when he finished playing, he's going to tell other guys, oh, man, y'all got it. It's like a country club, you know, so everybody said.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Sports science.
Yeah.
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 Well, cool. Congratulations to both of you. This is a great story.
Thank you very much.
And so you're betting he's drafted before you were drafted?
Oh, definitely.
No doubt.
I was drafted in the 3rd round.
Okay.
He gone. He gone way before then. Yeah.
All right. Like you said, every parent wants to make it better for their children. And
No doubt.
yeah,
No doubt.
that's fantastic. Well, congrats to you.
Thank you.
It's going to be a great
Thank you.
night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mom so flagrant.